Hey everyone, we're live here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, and we have another exciting interview. I have Lucia Engel here, and she's from Spark Your Story, and I met her through Bump, and we haven't really talked outside of Bump, so I really want to get to know her and hear more about her story. And yeah, Lucia, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Love
Yeah,
to be here.
this is great. So tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Hi, I'm Lucia Engel. I'm from Holland. I love Holland, but I also love other parts of the world. I also lived 15 years in Guatemala, and I always wanted to make my own story a little bit more sparkly, I think, because because when I was a little kid, there's this thing about emotions. There's not the easiest thing to do as a human being, right? Thank God there's people now about emotional intelligence and stuff like that. But when I grew up, we didn't do emotions in my household, and I'm a deep feeler. So my life was always a little bit like yin and yang. So I had a beautiful house, lovely family, but because we didn't do emotions, I started to believe that I was worthless. Really strong beliefs, really, like you have to make up some stories to. It was kind of like I need to shut down myself in order to still stay connected with my parents. And I could see they were not evil people. They were hardworking, loving people, but we didn't do emotions. And there's where my story started, actually. Yeah, I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, that's cool. So now that you share, now that you do that, like how do you share your story or help other people share their story?
Well, we come together and we have this listening skills that in normal society, like connection wise, and that we gather like we used to do in old tribes and stuff like that. And we have fun storytell exercises, and they go from, for example, stories about a certain theme about feeling welcomed to overcoming hurdles, really hero stories. And we all draft them from our lives. And that is and fun and healing, and it helps really to overcome your if you had any trauma on expressing yourself, that is a really good healing school and space.
So you help heal the trauma as well?
Yes, I work trauma informed.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about that and how that works? Or
Well, I'm an art and theater creative arts therapist. And I noticed, like, I studied this 4 years, but at that time we were not trauma informed.
Hmm.
So I couldn't really do my profession well because I needed that. And trauma informed is really like that you have an extra layer of looking at a human being and you look at their nervous system. Because, for example, from the outside, you can smile, but your nervous system can be in fight flight.
Right.
And if you're in fight flight, the part of your brain that is social and is connected with emotions is not lit on. Is I know the English word, but it's not working. So you get really in between the people that you love or the people that you want to speak to. Um, they can feel you because you're not in that state of your nervous system, and that affects us tremendously in so many decision makings, even in how you connect, how the way you connect are connected with yourself affects your children, how much patience you have, how you see things. For example, if you're in fight flight and you read a text, you can it's kind of like your brain is looking for the dangers and it will always find some or something to fight about. But if you are in connected state, in fun, in playful, a trustworthy state, then you have a lot more buffer and resilience for others and for yourself.
Right. So that's like when people are sharing, right? And even though they have a smile on their face, and maybe they're telling the truth or what they think is the truth, we don't really connect with them. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if I'm one of those people, what's a step I can take that, I can start allowing my emotions to come out and share authentically with people?
Yeah, like we would do fun exercises first to enjoy your voice, to play with your voice. What can you do with it? You probably have a lot of fun stories or stories about places you've been, stories about favorite pets, and it's really like each story that you tell, like more of your nervous system. You feel just safer. We like you more when you say more about those little details. Talking about details is also calming your nervous system.
Hmm.
And so the first phase would be really connecting with each other and with your stories.
Wow. Wow. That's interesting. I never really thought about sharing like smaller details within, but that's how we relate, I think, to people, maybe. Is that right?
Yeah, it's I think you we can only share those little details when we are in fact like at ease with each other, right?
Yeah.
When we have a feeling of time, we have a lot of time, and it's enjoyable, and you have a feeling of spaciousness, then the details pop up, and that's where we really bond, and I noticed that with my family, like when we were on holidays. My family was great. We had an amazing time. But as soon as we came home, the Cold War started again, right? Like it was so that's why I moved to Guatemala, because I was like, over there, there's there's more fun. Yeah. Have you
Uh,
where do you live, Derek?
I'm in Los Angeles, so
Ah, how
yeah,
is Los Angeles?
it's good. The weather's great, and I used to work in film and television, so I kind of had to be here. But I
Yeah.
stay out here because I really like it. Um, yeah, I grew up in Chicago, but I've been in LA for the last 25 years.
Oh wow, you're an LAer now.
I am. I am. So, what did you do in Guatemala? I'm curious. I was in Guatemala just on, holiday vacation for a few days, but what did you do there?
Did you go and visit Lake Atitlan?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I went to a different lake. Where did I go? Flores?
Oh yeah,
Something?
Flores. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful with the pyramids or the
Yeah.
Maya. Yeah. Yeah, great. So I live more like when you go up, we go to the left of Guatemala,
Uh-huh.
and it's a beautiful volcanic lake. It's big, huge, and there's all kinds of cute like little villages on the edges. And it was really in one of the villages, it was really cheap to learn Spanish. So I came there to do 1 year of volunteer work as an art theater therapist in Guatemala in an orphanage. But I didn't I didn't speak any Spanish. So I went to one of the villages, and after that year I went back there because I liked it so much, and it was also very affordable to live there, and it was so beautiful. Like I feel like Lake Atitlan for me is kind of similar like to paradise, how it looks nature-wise. And the weather was so good, way better as in Holland. So
Oh, I
I
see.
decided I decided to stay.
Nice. Did you learn anything? I'm sure you have some great stories from there. But
Yeah, first there was like a huge storm, a hurricane, and so a whole village got buried. And I felt the calling to help there. And in the end, I did like a project of fair trade jewelry. So I designed it. We kind of co-created it, and it was really expressive. It was really helping people. Then I helped the travelers with clothing. So I set up a thrift store, a few thrift stores actually. But we also made with the local women. We made clothes and we designed clothes. It was always really creative and everybody working together.
Oh,
And that was
wow.
my success. And in the end, like I actually like in Holland, I never made money because I never felt passionate about anything to really excel in it. But like when I was in Guatemala, working together and making a lot of people happy with, like all kinds of creative stuff. Suddenly I was abundant and I could even build my own house. I was astonished. I was like, huh, this is a third world country. I thrive better in that kind of countries, I guess.
Well, I think, well, you were happy, you were enjoying what you were doing, and think you were just had the energy of abundance, right? So everything was flowing to you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah. That's,
beautifully said.
yeah, really nice. So now you help other people share their story, and what kind of people come to you, and what do they kind of get out of it when they're done working with you?
Yeah, I've seen that like a lot of people with a lot of resilience and bounceability, like they have gone through a lot, like a lot of hidden fights, not necessarily plain abuse or but they're big feelers and they have big hearts and they just can't do anything else than love people, but because sometimes that's hard, and it takes them a lot of courage to really learn how to speak up because of they were practically denied in their expressions on certain levels, not on every level. And they want to help others, but they understand they first have to help themselves also to yeah, kind of go from depression to expression, like to holding small to shine and sparkle.
Right. Yeah, I think a struggle for me as I was starting my business was being able to share my story. It took me a long time to kind of develop that kind of skill to be. I feel like I do a decent job of it now, and people tell me they really like hearing my story, but um, it did take me a long time to be comfortable sharing. I'm like for a long time, I'm like, I don't have a story. I didn't know what I was doing, but it did develop over time. And I wish I knew about you before and I could have a coach to kind of help me share it. So I think for business, if you're starting a business, especially if you're going to go on like social media, right? People want to hear your story. So I think it's a good way, people need someone like you. You're doing important work.
Thanks.
Yeah. So thank you for what you're doing and thank you for serving.
Thanks. My pleasure. It's a lot of fun.
Great. So we really appreciate you doing this. Is there anything that you haven't been able to share that you'd like to share?
Yeah, spark your story, I would say to anybody listening, because like we all, it's exactly what you say, Derek. Like we all think that like we don't have a story to tell or there's nothing special about us. And I wish for you that you also could feel that your story is important and it will resonate with others. People would feel heard, they would feel uh, supported, they feel not alone when they hear your story. And the only thing you have to do is spark your story.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Uh, really appreciate it. We're going to have you put your links in the comments. So if people want to find you, you could put your website or whatever you have to share. You can put those in the comments and people can connect with you. And anybody listening, if you resonated with Lucia and you want to be able to share your story, there's all kinds of benefits to it. You may not be thinking about it right now, but it is very healing to share your story and be able to tell your story. And people like to hear your story. So I think this is amazing work that Lucia is doing. So definitely connect with her and learn how to share your story so we can hear it because we all want to hear it. So, Lucia, any other words to leave people with?
Uh, just I love you all, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, that's great. So thanks everyone. And like I said, if you want to connect with Lucia, check out her links in the comments. And if you want to share your story here in Nourish, Heal, and Thrive, just comment interview and we'll allow you to share your story here. Or even if you're just struggling and need some extra help, we're here to support you. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you at the next one.